So firstly, you are going to need to preheat your oven to gas mark 6 or 200 degrees. Now you're going to need some of these tulip style muffin cases. The smaller ones that look a little bit like cupcake cases that are corrugated around the edge, they tend not to work so well. So you're going to need this style, tulip style muffin cases, and we are going to put about 9 of them in our tray. You're doing a maximum of 1 tray each. As soon as you have done that, we're going to start preparing our ingredients. So firstly, you are going to need to melt your 85 grams of butter. Now you can do that in one of 2 ways. Either you can get a measuring jug like this, put the butter in there, and then go to the microwave and just microwave it for about 30 seconds until it's all melted. Don't put it in there for too long though, or else it's going to burn. Or your other alternative method is you could put your butter into a saucepan and with a wooden spoon melt it over the hob. Now, totally up to you how you want to do that. But obviously try and be sensible about what we are doing, and there's no point just standing around waiting for a microwave, so be sensible about that. So once your butter is melted, you are just going to leave that to one side to cool. Whilst that is happening, you're going to get yourself a bowl, and what's going to need to happen in here is we're going to put our flour, baking powder and sugar into the glass bowl, okay? And so basically anything that's a solid ingredient is going in here. Anything that is liquidy is going to go in the jug with the butter slightly later on. So you are going to put your flour, your sugar. Now we're going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder to this. Now you can really consider what you are doing with this. So you could just add this at home. You could even put all of these together if you wanted to, or you could bring your pot of baking powder and we can just add our teaspoon at school. Okay, so then you might want to start thinking about what flavourings going in here. So I'm going to add some chocolate chips to this mixture because they are part of my solid ingredients. And I might also think about what else I'm going to add in here. I'm going to leave the bowl to one side now and start focusing on my liquid ingredients. Now, if your ingredients that you're using needs sort of any chopping or anything like that, you can chop those up using the chopping board and prepare them as your recipe says you need to. Okay, so something like this. Okay, and then you can start cutting that. Put all your rubbish to one side. Remember our grip, so you've got the claw grip or the bridge grip, and remember which one you are using. Remember you want something like this to go freely through the muffins, so please think about that when you are preparing it. So consider your slices, how big they are, how you're cutting, how you're preparing. Now you can, if you want to, then make that in a smaller section. Up to you how you want it. So you just need to add in your milk to this one. It should already be weighed out at home. And then you should find that the butter will probably rise and the milk will sit at the bottom. From there, you then need to add your egg. Now, to crack your egg, you're going to hold the jug steady, a couple of taps on the eggshell on here. Use both hands to open it like that. Now, if any shell gets in there, use the other half of the eggshell to just get that out. These are then going straight in the bin as soon as you've finished with them. Now with this, we are going to whisk it. Now we've got the butter, the milk and the egg in here, so you're just going to use a whisk, balloon whisk, to whisk it slightly. If we don't have any whisks or there's not enough available, you can get the same effect with a fork. Okay. Now you're going to combine your dry ingredients with the ingredients from the jug. And then this needs to be stirred together. So you can either use a wooden spoon for this or a spatula or something like that, just to combine these as needed. Now you want to get it to a smooth consistency. I'm going to add a bit more toppings. Now once this has been stirred in properly, you can then start adding this to your muffin cases. From this point, you then need to get your ingredients from the bowl into your muffin cases. Probably the best way to do this would be using a metal spoon. And carefully dividing the ingredients between the different cases. When you've filled your muffin cases, you are then going to need to transfer these to the oven. Now, when you do this, please make sure that there's somebody holding the oven door open for you and that you are using oven gloves. Remember, the inside of the oven door can get really hot, so please be careful of that and keep an eye on the time when you put these into the oven. They are going to bake for around 20 minutes, up to about 25 minutes.